Well, good morning, everyone. Good morning, and you're taking a live look over I-70 on your way into the city. Looking nice. A little bit of cloud cover out there still embodies the region. We're trying to get rid of the first front, and then the secondary front is going to be coming through. This one's going to be slightly drier, but we still have an opportunity for a few flakes to fly out there, mainly to south of I-70. And I got to tell you, it ain't going to be much. It really won't be. Warm weather out there this morning. In the mid-30s, not so much as we make it into the afternoon. It is going to be a colder forecast for us out there, especially when we have the passage of this front that takes over for us moving forward into the late afternoon and early evening. Good morning to you guys. First Warn 5 meteorologist Greg Bennett here. Much to discuss. We've got a forecast here, 7-day outlook that looks wild when it comes down to, well, the lack of a few things and then the temperature kind of roller coaster that we go back on. So we're just going to get back into it and just show you this. Look at this. Look at this wild roller coaster. First and foremost, this is the first time I haven't seen red on this Security Bank 7-day forecast in a long time. What I mean by that is that we don't have first warnings. Thank goodness we don't have any first warnings, but there are some heads up that we want to talk about, right? And that is going to be what's happening on Monday morning. See that 5-degree mark? Yeah, that's cold stuff. 23 Monday, 9 Tuesday morning, 23 Tuesday afternoon. And then finally, we swing up to above average by Friday, only to plummet back down about 11 degrees into Saturday afternoon. So listen, we're going to go through this here. First and foremost, talking about what's coming up in the near future, right? So let's go ahead and get involved with that. And the first thing I want to do is show you the future forecast of the day today. There is a front, right? And in fact, the grayness that you see along the eastern side of I-70 where Columbia would be, that's the first front. That actually brought a little bit of a wintry mix for us. The second front is coming through this afternoon. There it is. There's front number 2. And a few isolated flurries along the way, now starting to encompass the metro and then starting to track to the south and east as we move on in towards the early evening. So mid-afternoon, could see a few more flakes fly out there. Now, is this going to be some form of aggressive accumulation? Are we going to see 2, 3, 4 inches? No, we're not. A trace, maybe now up to a ½ inch. Perhaps a local area, a local neighborhood could see an inch of accumulation. That's going to be it. It's a very short-lived situation, very weak disturbance of a front that comes through the area, and it's not widespread, as you can tell in our future forecast data. So you don't have to worry about this being a big to-do out there. And the temperatures, for the most part, during this time frame should remain near freezing. So you may not have that snow on the ground for long. But once we make it to the evening, we are dropping temperatures pretty quick. Okay, so I want you to be ready for that. Very cold air is going to start to come through. And again, you did see the 7-day forecast. Easily on Monday alone, we're talking about 15 to 20 degrees, maybe even 25 degrees in very local areas that are going to be below average. It's cold stuff. Cold stuff for us. So yeah, we need to be ready for that. What I'm concerned with is that any kind of snow melt that we have dealt with over the past couple of days here, because we have been above average, mind you, our afternoon high temperature yesterday was about 38 degrees. So we definitely got some snow melt. Obviously, that solid snow turns back to a liquid, water, and that's getting on the roadways, right? No big deal when we're driving down the road, and obviously it's above freezing, but when we're talking about temperatures that drop down to single digits and feel like temperatures between -5 and -10 degrees tomorrow morning, now we're talking about black ice. Just icy conditions on sidewalks, on your driveway, obviously in your neighborhood roads. I mean, this is going to be a problem, right? So I want you to be prepared for that, slowing down maybe a little bit or giving yourself that extra time to get from point A to point B tomorrow. And the same thing goes for the kiddos, being extra safe, trying to walk or maybe bicycle to school. You know, you want to watch out for that. Obviously, bundling up is going to be a good idea. After that, we see a nice little surge in warm air. Right, that comes back in thanks to a drier kind of weather pattern that comes through. There's an area of low pressure that tries to make itself known in our future forecast data. And it does kind of sort of shift our warm air. It comes out of the southwest for us, strictly more towards the southern end of Colorado and New Mexico. And that low and front that comes through kind of drags through the region, but you can see how it lifts a little bit of this green coloration back to the map. That's warmer air coming back to the forecast and keeping more of the Arctic air, the purples and very dark blues, up further north. So we see a reprieve thanks to this storm system, but then all of a sudden high pressure from basically Montana and Wyoming comes through, kind of attaches to the mid and upper level jet stream, and then pulls on the atmosphere again, providing us this other kind of polar plunge in temperature. And we're back down to the 20s moving forward into the weekend. And we're talking next weekend that this happens. So be prepared for that. I don't want to freak you out about, how cold we actually get. I've got two different models that say, hey, it could be as cold as, 17 to 22 degrees for daytime highs. And then I've got others that say, no, it's going to be between 0 and 5 degrees for daytime highs and morning lows in the negatives, like -15, -20. That we're talking 15, 16 days out. I'm not worried about that right now. We're going to see massive alterations to that forecast. I'm thinking it's going to be more of the American model blend that we're looking at, and that's going to be maybe teens coming back to the forecast for maybe like 2 days with morning lows in the single digits, perhaps around 0. So it is something that we're going to keep our eyes on. That's the next big threat. When it comes down to snowfall or ice, I don't see that right now. Right now, it's really just a concentration in temperature as we move through at least the next week or so. So a little bit of good news there. I would call that good news. I would call that better news for us all the way around. That's really your forecast. That's what I got for you. Heads up, it is going to be a cold kind of outlook for our Monday and Tuesday. It's just going to be darn right cold out there. 20s in the day, single digits in the morning. Could see some ice. Just because of all the snow melt that we've been dealing with for the past couple of days here. I've already seen salt trucks resalting and kind of rebrining, which is very, 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 very good. And hopefully we won't have any issues on our main interstates and major highways, but it's those neighborhood roads we got to watch out for. Okay. All right. With that being said, another live look over the city of Fountains from the east on I-70, closer to around Arrowhead and the K. It's looking good. Starting to see little bits of the ground there. That snowfall trying to kind of melt away for us. Definitely a plus. We're going to keep on keeping on tracking that for you along with those temperatures.